Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to talk to you about the Bermuda cruise coming up in just a couple of days, 28 days from now. I wanted to welcome you to our webinar and also introduce my co-host and co-partner and friend and colleague and co-founder, Maureen Basie. Maureen?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us on a Thursday afternoon. I know many of you were very eager to get some of this information, so we wanted to get it out to everyone as soon as possible. And know that if you can't be here live, we are recording it, and this will not be your last time you can ask questions. We will be taking questions up until the minute before we get on the ship. So it's just a good way to kind of get all the information and then have some time to process it as well. So just a quick note, we will be doing Q&A at the conclusion of the presentation. So feel free as you think of the questions to go ahead and put them in the bottom there in the Q&A area. And we will go ahead and answer those at the conclusion. But I guess we will get going. So yes, 28 days from now, not too far. So it's very exciting. It was, I guess, a month from today's 23rd, right? I think. I don't know.
It is
But
23rd.
4 weeks away. So yes, that is the beautiful Independence of the Seas right up there. We are very happy to be sailing on her again. I think this is the fifth time Celiac Cruise will have sailed with Independence. So she's one of our favorites. We know a lot of the crew, so we are in great hands because we will see so many familiar faces. So we'll just do a quick overview and then make a special introduction to some friends who are here joining us. This is kind of an overview of what we will be going through today. Just to give you an idea, so you can I'm not going to read all through that, but just know we'll go through all the details that hopefully have been sitting in your mind of the questions. So, yes, but first off, I'd like to welcome, we have two special guests here joining us from New York. Now, I want to make sure I say your name, Aileen. Okay.
Eleni,
Eleni, okay.
yeah, it's
And
all good.
that's you, Sebastian, right?
Yes, yes,
No,
yes.
good to see you guys.
Good to see you as well.
I don't know if anyone on this webinar has ever had the chance to go to the amazing Senza Gluten by Gemico in New York, but if you have not, you have a special opportunity to do so. So we are so excited to kind of kick things off this trip, this amazing trip, by giving you all an amazing special celiac cruise only opportunity to eat in this restaurant. So I just want to introduce these two. They're joining us and let them tell us a little bit about the magic that happens at your restaurant.
Hi, everyone. So we are from Senza Gluten by Gemico. It's a 100% gluten-free dedicated business. We own two different locations. One is the restaurant where you're going to be joining us in Hell's Kitchen, and one is also the Cafe Bakery, which is located in Greenwich Village. The reason why I'm mentioning is some people get confused and go into one location than the other. So I'm also going to be emailing you these on the emails once you reserve the spots. This is Sebastian Cohen, head of marketing, and I'm Elena Solo. I'm the manager as well as the daughter of Nico. And for 35 years now, and being in this industry really pushed him because he has had a lot of celiac friends, and being with them, it really pushed him to open up a 100% dedicated restaurant. And we have been in this business since 2014 now. And first of all, we're extremely excited to be collaborating with Celiac Cruise and to have this opportunity to welcome you guys. It's going to be one time. It's going to be on May 20th. It's shown in the poster. It's going to be on May 20th, right before, like a day before the cruise at 7 p.m. It will be 100% authentic Italian cuisine dining family style experience. Basically will be appetizers, main courses, and desserts as well. We're going to showcase different variety of all of these three main courses. So you have more availability to try them, and you can get to know our restaurant as well. Tickets are $85 per person as shown. We're also going to have welcome champagne as well as non-alcoholic beverage if you prefer so. As you can see on the poster, we have the email there. If you can email us there at info@senzaglutenbygemico.com before May 6th. As of Today, only 30 spots are available. All the other spots have been already reserved. So the sooner you email us, the sooner I'm going to get back to you, and sooner I'm going to reserve your spots. Thank you so much for this opportunity again, and we cannot wait to see you soon.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for
Of
joining
course.
us. And trust me, if you have not had the chance to dine here, this is a pretty great opportunity. And also it's really special because you guys will get the chance to see people that you'll get to spend the next week with. So we really want to kind of encourage everyone to be able to have that opportunity to, meet somebody, meet a friend before we get on the ship, but then also participate in the community. And this is the best of the best. So grab one of those spots and have a delicious meal to kick off your vacation. So again, thank you guys so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us.
Thank
Again, you're
you.
Thank you.
more than welcome to stay, but I know you have some other things to
Yeah.
take care of. So
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
you're welcome. All right,
We
have
will
a
see
great
you
day.
soon.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great day.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
What a great group and what a great restaurant. It's so
Yes, I think
amazing.
it broke up when she was saying, so she is the chef's daughter. That's the chef's daughter. So I think they were having a little connection issue. Maybe it was just on my end, but just so you all know that that is actually Chef Jemico's daughter. And obviously she's involved in the business. I believe is 100% gluten-free as well. So, they've had a personal impact by this, like most people who get into, this type of operation. So they're special, special people. It's been a joy to work with them. So make sure you grab one of those seats if you haven't already.
Well, let's talk about travel. So, if you haven't booked your flights yet, you might want to make sure you come in at least one night before, right? And grab that spot at Senza, right there in Hell's Kitchen. The email. We'll put the email in the email that goes out tomorrow when this webinar is being recorded, and we'll make sure we put that flyer in the email tomorrow so that everybody can join that wants to. So you're going to fly into any airport in New York. The EWR, which is Newark, is the closest and the best because we're going to be sailing out of the Cape Liberty cruise port in New Jersey. But there's hotels near the airport in New Jersey. It's an easy way to get to the city if you want to go for a Broadway play. I know some of our guests have mentioned they're going to go see a Broadway show. Some of our guests are going to then go to Senza by Jimico later on. So there's a lot of opportunities to do and see things in New York. To get to the ship, there's Ubers and transfers. There's parking at the ship. There's trains if you want to come from nearby train cities. I know some of our guests are taking the train and some are flying in. So if you do have any questions about that, feel free to email us, info@Celiac Cruise, or be sure to add the questions in the Q&A and we can, answer them later. But the port is in New Jersey. So most of you have already done your check-in already. I've been seeing the emails coming through, and it closes 72 hours before we leave. So just think 3 days before we leave, you won't be able to make any changes. So now's the time to download the app, the Royal Caribbean app. Go ahead and select your boarding time. Lunch will be available once you're on board. We get this question all the time, and we'll probably get it in the Q&A again, but don't worry about what time you get as a check-in. Just come on over to the pier and check in. If you want, you can tell them that you're with the Celiac Cruise and that you need to get on board. If your check-in time is not till 1, you don't have to wait till 1. I would suggest you get to the pier before noon so that you can get on board and have your gluten-free lunch. So I'll go through this one too. At the bottom, you're going to see a welcome aboard lunch ticket. We'll be emailing those to you. You can print that at home. You can show it on your phone. Or if you forget all of those, we'll have a master list. So we know who's allowed in our dining room and who's not. We're not going to let anybody in that doesn't need to be there. So, but if you can bring or show a lunch ticket, just one per party, that'll help us, get as many people into the dining room as possible. But one of the things that we suggest you do is print your luggage tags at home. Those will be part of your online check-in through Royal Caribbean. And those don't show up in your app until about a week before you go. So even if you check in now, this is only April, so it's not going to show up. The luggage tag and boarding pass won't show up until a little bit later on. So the lunch is from 11:30 to 1:30. So that's why we suggest you get there at 11:30 or noon so that you can get on board, go straight to the dining room. It's deck 5 in the back of the ship, and then you'll have a nice, comfortable, relaxed, amazing experience. Whereas everybody else is running all over the ship trying to figure out where am I going to eat? What am I going to do? You have an exclusive, private, dedicated, gluten-free, amazing sit-down served lunch available. Deck 5, dining room in the back of the ship. Cabins don't really open until around 1:30, so this will give you some time to explore the ship, find out where the surfing, flow rider surfing is, find out where the spa is, where are the pools, all that kind of stuff. But between 1 and 3, we're going to ask you to come down to the conference room on deck 2 forward. So remember, lunch is in the back of the ship. The conference room is in the front of the ship. So you'll get some exercise there. Go down to deck 2 anytime from 1 to 3. It's a drop in. So don't plan to stay the whole time. Don't plan, try to all get there at 1 o'clock. Because if there's a line, you can wait a few minutes and just come back. But that's where you're going to get all of your goodies, your wristbands, your lanyards, your t-shirts, all of the fun goodies that we're going to give you are going to be at the expo from 1 to 3 anytime. Just drop in. And then Maureen, you want to talk about the sail away?
Sure. Again, we always like to give people the chance to get together. Again, it's your vacation. You choose to do whatever you want with it. But should you want to meet some fellow celiac cruisers, we will be up on deck 12, I think is the stated time for now or the stated location. But again, we will be sending you a final newsletter approximately 10 to 12 days before we leave, which will have all of the final information, this lunch ticket, some other things you're going to see in a few slides here, but that will have all the final, like a full week-long itinerary of what's happening. So, but it's a fun way to kind of, have a chance to say hi. We'll have a special holiday beer cart up there so you can avoid some of the other lines and get the fast track to what we want. So so feel free to join us up there that day. And I think that's when we will be actually leaving, which is really, really great because as many of you know from that first slide, we are sailing very, very close to the Statue of Liberty. It's always one of my favorite sailaways. You go under a bridge that you're kind of take a deep breath to make sure we're going to get under, but it's a really, really amazing sailaway and having the chance to sail right by the Statue of Liberty, it's pretty cool. So I encourage you to head up there and it's a little bit earlier than normal. So, I think and make sure you pay attention to the boarding times again. Like, the ship does leave a little earlier than I feel, maybe a ship leaving from Miami. So, but all of that information will be covered. You will at some point be like, please stop telling us this. We got it. But that's just to make sure we get everybody on board without any bumps. So, like I just said, oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Sorry. Leaving at 3 o'clock doesn't mean you show up at 3 o'clock. Because number one, you're going to miss your amazing, wonderful gluten-free lunch. But number two, you have to be on board 90 minutes prior to sailing. So make sure you show up early.
Yes. So as I said, all of those different documents that you will have a chance, you will see. I have an example here of what an onboard dining guide. Take note. Yes, that is the Independence, but that's from July of 2024. So we have some small differences with that, but that is what it will look like. So you'll have that handy dandy thing just to be able to check and reference back to during the week. We ask people, you can either print it at home or, do a screenshot on your phone and just, have it at your ease. But we also do have, look for the big marker boards coming in and out of the dining room. So we really, really try and make sure you all know exactly what's happening each day, inclusive of events or get-togethers and things like that. But here's just a general overview of what dining on board will look like. So as we've said, main dining room, deck 5, breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be served there. Those are the hours following day 1. So yes, on lunch on day 1, we have extended hours a bit to make sure everybody gets in there. But this is what time throughout the week, for the most part, there might be an extra half an hour here or there on a sea day, but generally speaking, that is the sit down dining environment. So we also have the Windjammer up on deck 11. Oh, don't hold me to it. It's 11 or 12, but I'm pretty sure it's 11. What are you
It is. It's
Deck
11.
11. Okay. Um, so that is where we'll have more of the quick service type option. And we will have the Celiac Cruise signs. That one in the bottom left corner there, gluten-free zone, that's what you're looking for in that environment. Again, there are different parts of that venue that do have gluten containing food, but I want to make sure everyone knows all of the food from our gluten-free line will be coming from our dedicated galley on deck 5. So they transport all of that in a secret elevator and containers and things like that, obviously freshly prepared. So you know that, again, this is being prepared and not a shared environment. It does come up there. Caution is, I mean, it's taken, but we want to make sure you guys have a quick option too. If maybe sitting down for a lunch every day isn't your thing, but we will have stanchions up there. We will have people from both Royal Caribbean as well as Celiac Cruise manning, i.e., bouncing those lines to make sure that no plates come in there with anything on them, that clean plate only coming through there. So we do really, really stay on that very, very closely in addition to Royal Caribbean. So that gives you another option. But of note, breakfast and lunch is only served there. So dinner, everyone goes to the main dining room on deck 5 for that sit down dinner. And it is something you don't want to miss, to be honest with you. But just in case, for some reason you want to come back later to the ship that day and don't want that sit down option, we do have other gluten-free offerings that all of these venues will be vetted, trained, reviewed every day. There's a pizza place that is delicious. If for some reason you just, pizza is what works for you. Cafe Promenade will have sandwiches, again, coming from our dedicated Deck 5 galley, where those will be prepared, wrapped, and stored. So again, all preparation, all cooking preparation, and all packaging will be done in Deck 5. And essentially they're just served there. So you would just ask for a gluten-free sandwich, which there will be signage and things like that available. And also don't miss the gluten-free ice cream cones that are up on the pool deck. We always love, that's a special, special treat to be able to not have to put that ice cream in a cup, but actually being able to have cones. And we have those only available on our cruises. That's not a traditional thing that Royal has. So yes, and those people will be trained as well. They'll be glove changing, et cetera, et cetera. So just know that we are there the week before, checking every box, ensuring everyone's safety. And, we're very proud that this will be cruise number 32. And we treat it like it's our first one every single time as it relates to safety and things like that. So just know that, the Celiac Disease Foundation is on board with us, doing those trainings, reviews. I'll go through this in a few slides, but I think it's important to also mention as we're talking about food. And then, in case you're hungry again, which, I encourage you not to miss, late night snacks, which the word snack is quite comical. It is a full meal yet again, from 10 to 11. And this is some of these items have become rather notorious and popular, especially on our social media, and just know those will be there. They'll be a part of it. So just make sure you at least try and hit that a few nights that week because it's pretty cool.
I have a couple things to say about this slide. So dinner is at 5 p.m. prompt, and you'll see that on the schedule when you get it. We all sit down at 5 o'clock together, and we're seated in tables, the same table every night for the cruise. So that's the one that's assigned seating with the same waiter every night, and you'll get to know your table mates or, whatever. All the other meals are open seating. So when you go there, you will sit with different people every time. You'll get to meet other people. And then also in the Windjammer, there's certain hours that will be up there. Other than those certain hours, we're not there. So just keep that in mind. If you go to the Windjammer and you don't see our sign and you don't see our staff, then we're not there. So hope that helps to clear up any questions. So, additional dietary restrictions. The main thing is we need you to advocate for yourself. So on boarding day, we recommend that you come to the main dining room and then talk to your server so that different alternatives can be made in advance. If a lot of times, if it's a dietary restriction that requires pre-ordering, then you can do that the first night for the second night. So just be flexible when in doubt, ask to speak to a chef. They are on high love, not high alert, but they're on high love for Celiac Cruise. They want to make sure that all our dietary restrictions are, accommodated every way possible. And I think you're going to see the care and love that they put into everything to make sure that all the additional dietary restrictions are addressed.
And keyword additional, if it's just gluten, you don't have to say a word. There will not be gluten any place in any of these places we're mentioning. So that's, obviously dairy, soy, anything like that, anything additional outside of gluten.
And drinks.
Yes, 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 yes. So it's quite a process getting. I don't know if any of you know Holidaily, but they're in Golden, Colorado. They're our beer partner, and we bring them on board just for our celiac cruises. So the traditional beer that Royal Caribbean carries is a gluten-removed beer. So it's even listed on their menu as gluten-free. So heads up, that is a gluten-removed beer. It's the Dara Dam that they do have on board. We do not get into those conversations. You know your own dietary needs yourself. So if you drink gluten removed, that's available, but we kind of stick to a standard of gluten-free only, truly gluten-free without any presence of pre-enzyme beer. So this is made with gluten-free grains coming all the way from Golden, Colorado, only for our cruises. So those will be on board, a part of the drink package too. So those of you who have the drink package, this is included. And then you can also buy, Connie will go through all the specifics of kind of how it works on board, but you can also buy them a la carte. So one drink at a time is perfectly fine. So just know that either option is doable. And just, kind of giving you an idea of what happens before you get on board. Like I said, we treat every cruise like it's our first one. Every ingredient, every mixer, that's inclusive of the beverages that you'll get at the bar or the dining room, things like that. The coffees, the milks, the chocolate milk, the syrups, all of those things will be reviewed in depth to ensure gluten-free safety. So if there's anything that we want you to stay away from other than the regular beer and the twisted tea, which has malt in it, we will let you know, and it will be loudly communicated to ensure. But that's what we're there to do the week before. And straws, many of you ask about straws. We have checked. All Royal Caribbean fleet-wide now carry Strawfish, which is a top 8 allergen free straw. It's quite fascinating, way above my chemistry brain, but how they create them from recycled oyster shells. But again, they are shellfish safe as well. So those are safe, and they don't even unravel in your frozen beverage. So it's great that's one less thing we have to worry about.
So let me go through what's included and what's not. So iced tea, ice water, regular decaf coffee, juice, and milk. Those are all free. Those are all available to you complimentary. What's not included is bottled waters, specialty coffees like cappuccinos, lattes, those kinds of things. The Starbucks obviously is not included. Sodas, beer and wine, liquor, smoothies, milkshakes, all of those cost extra, and you can buy them one at a time just by going to the bar and saying, I'd like to buy a whatever, or you can get the all-inclusive drink package through Royal Caribbean as part of your online check-in. It's cheaper for you if you get the drink package prior to getting on board. It's much less expensive, but please know that it is about $70 or $80 per person per day. So you would probably need to drink more than 8 drinks a day to even out or to, make money on the deal. A lot of people like to get the drink package because then they don't have to worry about any bill at the end, and that's fine to do, but just wanted to kind of walk through what was offered and what was not. So I'll go through some cruising 101. On day one, the cruising 101 is patience because remember, there's quite a few people getting on this ship that morning, just like you. Most of them, don't know where to go or where to eat or where to do, where their cabin is. And so the elevators are going to be busy. After day one, you're going to notice a definite improvement on the elevators. You won't have to wait as long. So please just be patient, have a great attitude, and just remember you're on vacation. The drink package, like we said, Holidays included. Royal Caribbean sells dining packages and they sell a product called the Key. We do not suggest either one of those. Number one, the dining packages take you to restaurants that are not dedicated gluten-free, so they're outside of our Celiac Cruise dining room. So you would be paying for something that you won't be getting if you eat in our dining room anyway. And the Key is a program that they offer that provides you with an elegant, amazing sit-down lunch on the first day of the cruise to avoid all the masses. But I don't know if you remember, a few slides ago, I said we're offering that to you as part of the Celiac Cruise experience anyway. So if you've already purchased the Key and it wasn't very much more expensive than getting the internet alone, you might look at that, but we don't encourage you to get the Key because it's the benefits don't outweigh the cost. There are some shows and some standbys and some booking of things on board like excursions and things like that. If anything is sold out, just check when you get on board because they do hold back some spots. So just check as soon as you get on board. We're going to one port. It's Bermuda, and we're spending the night there. So the cool thing is you can go out in the afternoon, you can go out in the evening, you can go out in the morning the next day. So we suggest that you eat before or after going out so that you know that you have a dedicated gluten-free experience. It's very difficult to vet anywhere off of the ship unless it's a dedicated spot. And that's our standard. Celiac Cruise standard is dedicated. So if it's not a dedicated spot, it's very difficult for us to recommend it because there could just be some cross contact. So we suggest that you eat on the ship before or after your excursions. For motion sickness, luckily this is a great time of year and it should be smooth sailing, but we even check the seasick pills that the front desk has, they call it guest services, to make sure they don't have any gluten. If you're very concerned about motion sickness, you can talk to your doctor about a patch that goes behind your ears called a scopolamine patch. But that's a prescription medication, and you would need to discuss that with your physician. They also sell some non-pharmaceutical type herbal remedies on Amazon that some clients have used. So I wouldn't worry about it too much because it is a great time of year. But if you are concerned, it's better to have those things and than not. Some of the cool things on the ship are the slides, the kids clubs, the rock climbing wall, the ice skating rink, the flow rider, which is surfing in the middle of the ocean on a ship. It's really cool, but it's quite fun. All of these things are free. Comedy shows, the theater shows, everything on the ship. All of these experiences are complimentary. So there's a lot to do. The pools are amazing. The kids area, as you can see there in the photo, I might be down there playing. It looks so much fun. So what's not included, of course, are spa treatments like massages. Wi-Fi is not included, but you can purchase Wi-Fi from Royal Caribbean as part of your online check-in. Specialty restaurants, which we don't recommend anyway, those cost to go to, so we don't recommend those. And then they do have some fun events like laser tag, special escape rooms, or anything that you might purchase, like a souvenir, that sort of thing. Excursions. I'll take this one because I've been there before, and I will tell you the one on the bottom is the caves experience, and that is incredible. I did this when I was there a couple of years ago when we were scouting out this trip to provide a celiac cruise on this exact same ship, and I fell in love with the caves. So they offer it on both days that we're there, I believe, and I think both days still have space available. And from what I remember, I think they're still having a sale. So if you haven't booked an excursion for one of your 2 days there and you're interested, the caves experience is really great. If it's sold out, just check back because people cancel and change their mind all the time. The other thing that is really cool about Bermuda, and Maureen is wearing her pink today because they have pink sand at one of the beaches in Bermuda. It has to be the right sun level and the right cloudy level, and it has to be just right for you to see the pink sand. But it really has a hue of pink in it because of the pink shells that are in the sand ground up. So it's the only place in the world that I know of, but I could be wrong. But it's really a cool thing to do. So that might be the thing to do on the other day that you don't go to the caves, if you decide to do the caves. But there's a lot of excursions there. You don't have to do anything. You can just get off the ship and walk around. I'm sure it's pretty easy if you wanted to, go on your own. Remember, we're there overnight, so it's not like you're having to hurry back to catch the ship before we leave on the first day. So, plenty of activities for all levels, and it's just going to be great to get there, relax, not have to worry about, like I said, hurrying back. Spending the night in port is very rare. Most cruise ships don't do this. It's really great. And then we'll be leaving the next day.
So, as we said, we love this ship. At the time, he's 15 now. He's not quite 15 in that photo doing the flow rider, but it's so fun for the kids. It's so fun. I've tried it. I encourage you to try it. No injuries. That's our Celiac Cruise rule, though, but it's a soft fall, it's a soft landing, so it's really hard to get hurt. But just there's so many fun things you can do, and make sure you take advantage of the ship. As we've talked about, we've listed all the different things. There's a miniature golf course, which we will probably be doing a Celiac Cruise event up there for all of us, a miniature golf tournament. Obviously, there's shopping, there's spas, casinos, the lounges and bars are endless. And the shows are really amazing. They really, really do a great job at Royal. So check one out. If it's, again, your vacation, you choose to manage it how you want. You might just want a lounge chair up top and not want to move except for your meals. But that's what's great about cruising is you can kind of choose your own adventure throughout the day. So, and the kids clubs are phenomenal. I will speak. Our kids have gone to them a lot, and they're kind of the kids who, I would have taken them to the gym kids clubs back in the day, and they wouldn't really want to stay. I'd be paged very quickly afterwards. But these kids clubs, they don't want to leave. Sometimes are like, "Mom, why are you back so soon?" So definitely give it a try if that's your thing. Again, your choice, your vacation.
It also has a great gym on board too.
Oh, the gym is phenomenal.
Work off some of those calories because you'll be eating some.
Yes.
So we don't know exactly what night is which because the cruise director actually comes up with which night and the captain which night is. But typically the formal night is usually what they call dress your best is the first sea night, but it doesn't look like right now that that's what it might be. So just know there's going to be a dress your best. Dress your best is really up to your interpretation. Of course, no shorts or flip-flops that night, but dress your best is the time if you want to get dressed up for photos. It might make a good holiday greeting card photo or, a great memory of your cruise. There's 2 nights that are casual. There's usually a white night, which is fun because everybody dresses in white if they want to. And then they have a white party, a dance party later. And then there's a Caribbean night. So the gentleman at the bottom right is wearing it well. So bright, colorful, floral, Caribbean, beautiful floral shirts and things are the norm for that night. Remember, it's your vacation. Don't overpack, do what you want, but that's the dress code from Royal Caribbean.
So yes, we've talked about this a little bit before, but again, I don't feel like we can remind you all enough because as we said, this will be cruise number 32. We have yet to have an event, and it's because of the policies and the all the different steps and things that we put into prior to you all stepping on board. So you can really step on board and relax and know that we've done all the work in advance. We already have been, in fact. So it's not like we just start the day, the week before you all get on board. So the crew are trained immediately before everyone boards. So that includes the dishwashers, the servers, the chefs, the kids clubs, guest services, you name it. They sit down for a training with us in the Celiac Disease Foundation, and we go through, give them a little education too, which makes us really proud that, when we leave on the 26th, everyone that is in the food service, the food and beverage industry, and more will know a little bit about celiac disease. And I think that that goes a long way for guests who will travel in a month from now, and they may know, okay, this nobody's doing this because they choose to. This is how it is, and I think it does really, really go a long way with Royal Caribbean in general. I think we've trained up to 27,000 crew members to date on celiac disease and safety. So, we hope we're doing our part there for just really kind of moving the mark in terms of education and awareness in the hospitality world. So every single label is checked. So even though, yes, they ordered it gluten-free, we go down in the depths of the bottom of the ship, in the freezers, everything, and check every single label before it's brought up to our dedicated galley. All the menus are correlated with, okay, this is what is on the menu, what is going into this. So sauces, all of those things that we all think about on a daily basis when you're going to eat outside your home will be reviewed, inspected again and again and again, even on the final day prior to everyone boarding that morning. The venues, we have walkthroughs of the venues, the cleaning processes, things like that. Things are marked gluten-free. Do not enter if you have even had worked in a gluten-containing area. They make them change their uniforms. It is really, really amazing how much, how committed Royal Caribbean has been. An amazing partner to us, just to ensure this experience is safe, and as stated. So just know that there's that and many, many, many more things that go on beforehand just to ensure your safety on board.
And we're going to have lots of events on board too. So remember, we're going to have the Welcome Aboard Expo from 1 to 3 down on deck 2 in the conference room, where you're going to pick up all your stuff, your wristbands, your lanyards, your t-shirts. All of that is from 1 to 3 on deck 2 in the conference room. We'll have some adult meetups through the week. These are just come if you want. We're just going to be there. We'd love to talk to you. They're typically at an adult event like a location like one of the bars, but you don't have to purchase anything. You can come if you want and just enjoy. We will have some kids and teens events because we're going to have some really cool people on board who the kids and teens love to talk to. We're going to have a keynote presentation that Maureen can talk about here in a second. We have some events on board that we call Cruising for a Cause. So Cruising for a Cause is a philanthropy event that we do. These are events that we hold to raise money for people who can't afford gluten-free food. So it is a collaboration with the Celiac Disease Foundation, and all of the proceeds from these events go to feed families that can't afford the food. So you'll receive very soon registration for all of these events, a registration link, and we suggest that you sign up early because especially like the Taste of Royal, which is a dedicated, elevated, amazing experience lunch, that will sell out really quickly. The cocktail party and silent disco, that will sell out really quickly. the holiday beer tasting. I mean, what a better way to spend an afternoon is to raise money for people and be drinking holiday beer. Just amazing. And then a special miniature golf tournament just for fun. So those events and some more will be coming your way. Some of the events that will be on the registration link will be complimentary. So the keynote presentation will ask you to sign up for that, but it's complimentary. So you'll see that coming. We have two special coffee and conversations through the cruise, and those are where we sit around and just talk and share, and we have a great time just, getting to know each other. We have a complimentary ice skating private just for us, and much, 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 much more. So I think the presentation's on a new slide, right?
Yes, yes, that's
Yay.
yes. So again, every once in a while, I pinch myself when I'm like, oh my goodness, the people who want to be a part of this. I think we're all very familiar with going into the world, the real world, and being a nuisance, and it's quite the difference here. So we are very excited to have these two amazing human beings joining us for this cruise. Talk about community. I mean, leaders. Both of these individuals have done so much in the celiac space, and we're just really, really lucky to have them both on board. So Ann Lee, she works both at Columbia University in a celiac disease center, as well as doing some work with the Celiac Disease Foundation. Will be joining us, so she will be on board. And then Dr. Vehi Badalin from Children's National in Washington D.C., he's a pediatric gastroenterologist, excuse me, and additionally an assistant professor at GW School of Medicine will be joining us. And again, if you do any quick searches, you'll find both of these individuals very much in just the celiac world, the news in the way of research and just kind of creating a better life for all of us every day. So we're really, really honored to have them both on board. So don't miss that. Again, it's your vacation. We're not forcing you, but it's quite an opportunity to see these two. Oh, and dun, 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 dun.
Yay.
Many people on a daily basis, we do this webinar, and people will ask me, when is Phil coming? When is Phil coming? You all hit the jackpot. Phil and his lovely wife will be on board this week for this cruise, and he will be doing a lot of awesome events with the kids, and also obviously with the adults, because everyone loves Phil. Everyone has gotten by a little bit easier knowing that, Phil has made us laugh about the choices that we have to make every day. But again, just a little bit of lightheartedness as it relates to gluten. And also, Phil's really made some big changes in the celiac space. I mean, I still do possibly hold, the gluten-free Oreos in his hands, that he was the one who pushed the mark there to get those across the finish line. So we're happy to have him. And then we also have a very, very cool guest. Cool, and it's just an awesome story. So Allie down there, Life of a Captain's Daughter is how you can find her in the social media space. Well, her father, the gentleman to the right, just happens to be our captain, who will be on board the Independence of the Seas. He's been with Royal Caribbean for 30 plus years. We've had him before, and we've had conversations with him while we've been on board he said, my daughter has celiac disease. She should come sometime. Well, she is. So it's just a really, really neat story. He actually was supposed to go home a few weeks ago, but decided to stay. So we're really lucky. Captain Tor is his name. You'll get to know him over the loudspeaker and possibly in some of our events. So Allie will be joining her dad. And again, just kind of making a personal spin on celiac as it relates to the real world. So we're really excited to have them both join us.
Wah, wah. Well, we have to talk about debarkation morning, I guess, right? So the good thing is there will be food available. So we'll have the main dining room, we'll have the Windjammer Cafe, and remember there is the left side of the Windjammer with, people there to make sure that it's safe. If, so make sure you go to the correct side of the Windjammer or just come to the main dining room. They'll have express breakfast that you can eat before you go. As soon as the ship is cleared, you can get off if you want to bring your own luggage and walk it off yourself. That's called self-assist, and you can get off as early as the ship is cleared. So, by 7:30 or 8 usually. Transfers are available through the Royal Caribbean app, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. That's the Royal Caribbean app, and they're offering transfers to, even some transfers where they take you around and drop you off. So this is considered a shore excursion for them, and it's part of your online check-in through Royal Caribbean, and you can book that yourself, as you can see right there. There's parking available at the port, as you know. Everybody will be off the ship by about 9, usually. So, sometime between 6:30 and 9, you'll be getting off based on your color, or unless you self-assist, you'll be one of the first ones off the ship. So just know that there's food available for you so you won't leave hungry.
All right.
I think we do have some questions. So uh, let's see. Here's a food question, Maureen. Sorry, we do not have a webcam. Will the food at the buffet be labeled with specific allergens?
Great question. So, we always want to say yes for the world that we live in, but sometimes other people have rules that are not our rules, which Royal Caribbean has legal policy that requires you to self-advocate in for allergens additional to gluten. So they want you to go and identify yourself. I obviously am gluten-free, but I also need dairy-free, etc. There are some items in the late night snacks at times that they will state dairy-free. But for the most part, we are going to ask that you go and speak with, there's many, many chefs that tend to hover around our area. We're very lucky. It's rarely hard to find one. And they will take such good care of you. Again, it's really, really refreshing to me that chefs, food and beverage directors, servers ask to be a part of this, as opposed to the normal way we feel in dining establishments. So I think you're going to feel that love and won't be as concerned. So, Bob, hi, Bob. Good to see you, Bob. We just saw Bob a few weeks ago, or not even a few weeks ago, a week ago, in Amsterdam. So, we're excited for you to join us again. If you wish to spend the day on the beach in Bermuda, can you bring gluten-free food off the ship, or is there gluten-free options at Horseshoe Bay Beach? We have Matt from Gluten-Free Street Gang, who is actually a Bermuda native, doing some deep diving for us as it relates to Bermuda safe options. So we will be sending those your way, in addition to a New York City dining guide prior to departure. And back to the question or the statement of, we always want to say yes, but sometimes people make rules that Connie and I aren't privy to changing. And a lot of those are the port authority as it relates to what you can bring off the ship and what you cannot. It's a food law. There's laws that, believe it or not, we can't change. That being said, maybe we should stop recording this part. Just kidding. People have in the past brought things off the ship. When they're checking for things, rarely they're checking for gluten-free food. They're checking for other things. However, that being said, there have been a few instances that they do have those lovely pups, dogs around that, but we primarily have seen that in Alaska and those areas. So we ask that you exercise caution should you choose to bring food off of the ship, because if you were to ask anyone, they are going to tell you, no, do not do this. We have had guests who have reported back to us that they have successfully gotten some food, a sandwich, things like that off the ship without issue. But we are going to leave that in your hands. Liability removed. We do not want to have to bail anyone out. But I think, again, we would hate for you to have an experience that was not ideal, but rumor has it that it hasn't been an issue. So I guess, leaving it in your hands how you choose to handle that. And I know there was a lot of questions about that. So, yeah. How many cruisers? We are shy of 600. very proud. So yes, that is as many seats are in that main dining room on deck five are our numbers. Regarding other gluten-free offerings around the ship, if sandwiches are made in the dedicated kitchen on deck five and offered at Cafe Promenade, can any Royal Caribbean guests get those, or are they exclusive to us with Celiac Cruise? So one thing we did not cover, that those of you who have sailed with us, you all will have a Celiac Cruise wristband on. And we ask that you wear that for your safety, for people to be able to identify you, but also to make sure that's how we ensure only those of us who are here with us are coming into our main dining room, as well as late night snacks, etc. So if there is a gluten-free person on board who does not have a wristband, they can go to Cafe Promenade and order a sandwich. Yes. That is something that, again, it's a nice perk for those of us, for those people sailing the same time as us, but they are only really allowed to do those things, whereas, the private venues that are privatized for us, you must have a wristband. But it is coming from deck five galley. So in terms of a safety concern, there's nothing to be concerned about as it relates to contamination, etc.
Here's one. What are the breakfast and lunch hours for the Windjammer in case I miss the gluten-free lunch on a port day?
So
Will
we will
yeah.
get those, I mean, officially all of the times and things like that to you. We do try and increase the flexibility from the main dining room a little bit. So, for the most part, it's a little bit staggered, but, same general times. I think lunch is open a little bit later in the Windjammer. I should say, the times that are stated for the Windjammer, you'll see they're open, I think, for lunch 12 to 3. And this is an important thing we want people to listen to. And that food will all be gluten-free throughout that duration. It's not like they're going to change it or whatever. It's all gluten-free from the entire time, all through breakfast, all through lunch. We will have staff there at the hours that we send and post to you. So the staff are there for purposes to ensure, nobody's cutting across the line and grabbing something with the wrong tongs and things like that, all the things that keep us up at night. We will have our staff there to ensure that those things don't happen in the time frame that we send to you. We also have to be respectful of everyone, standing there for 4 hours is a lot on people. So we try and kind of create a time frame that gives you ample time to be able to choose two options for food. And then you also obviously have the pizza place that, I encourage you to try it. And then Cafe Promenade as well, if you were to get back on the ship following those times that we posted. But just so you know, the food is gluten-free through that entire breakfast and lunch only time frame, but look for our signs. Are all mixers on board?
Yes. Oh, sorry, you froze. So the mixers on board are all checked. And go ahead, Maureen. Oh, sorry. All the mixers are on board at all the gluten-free. All the bars have all gluten-free ingredients. We're going to check every single thing. If it's not, we'll let you know, other than the gluten-containing beer and the twisted tea. Are there Celiac Cruise specific tastings like beer tastings or things like that? Yes, we covered that. We're going to have special events, and those are the ones that we talked about that are for a cause. So you pay for that, but then the money goes to feed families that can't afford. We will be offering a little sip of Holiday League beer when you check in, complimentary at the expo from 1 to 3, down on deck 2 in the front of the ship.
21 and older only.
Yes.
We're rule followers.
Are there vegan options, Maureen?
Yes, there are. We do have vegan options. Again, these chefs are here to please. So if for some reason you want something specific that is not listed on the menu, we just ask that you have those conversations, at dinner. And I think you'll be impressed with what they're able to do. Again, they may make you pre-order for a vegan specific option, but there are vegan options on the menu.
Are there kids menus available during the dining room?
Yes, there are. And what we are very proud, the kids menu that is traditionally used throughout the week on the Royal Caribbean ships is our same kids menu. So It's the same offerings that any child on deck 4, deck 3, or the week before would have had. So there are plenty of wonderful options. And adults, you're welcome to order from the kids menu too. So, and you're welcome to order more than one entree, more than one appetizer, more than one dessert. Again, it's your vacation. No need to be shy. I will be disappointed if everybody only eats one thing from each section throughout the week. So,
Gluten-free pizzas. You want to talk about how we vet that?
yes. So again, we treat each cruise like we've never done this before. So even though we've had policies set in place before and protocols and things like that, we go back and review. Each individual time we will do a walkthrough, but you will be very happy to know we have a dedicated pizza oven for us through the duration of this cruise, a separate prep station, separate toppings, separate cutting knife, you know what I'm saying, roller, pizza roller. All of those things are separate at a distance as well. And we will have one person managing the gluten-free pizzas. And if not, that person will be changing their gloves, washing their hands, and changing their gloves in between. So yes, all of those things will be reviewed and monitored on a daily basis to ensure everyone's safety.
Got a great comment. You
Oh,
all are the best. Can't wait for another Celiac Cruise. We can't wait either. It's so
yeah.
great. Thank you for the sweet comment. Are there gluten-free room service options?
So there are things on the menu. So you'll see on the gluten-free room, I mean there's no gluten-free menu for room service, but on the menu they will have an option. You know, there's yogurts, there's obviously coffee, there's gluten-free toast, things like that. However, we should state room service for our cruise is rerouted to a new location. The bakery is rerouted to a new location. So there's a lot of operational changes that, again, that happens when we come on board, which is just, again, a testament to Royal Caribbean's, dedication to safety here. The food from room service is coming from a shared environment. So that is not dedicated, gluten-free. If we would encourage you to maybe take turns, send somebody up to the Windjammer in the morning and get something from that dedicated space that's coming from our Deck 5 dedicated galley, put a top on it, and go back to your cabin. That is the safest way to manage it, and I think you'll be happier with the quality and the variety of options as well.
Are both keynote speakers on day 2?
Yes, so they will be doing that time frame together. So yes, both of them will be taking some time to talk about all updates and things like that in the celiac space. We obviously will have opportunities throughout the cruise to interact with them. They don't just come to the keynote and disappear. They'll be dining in our dining room, attending the events. So, that's not your only chance to be able to interact with them. But as it relates to that formal presentation, that is only happening on day 2. Yes.
I'll take the next 2. My husband is gluten-free, but I am not. Will we be able to eat together? Yes. So everybody that books with us gets to eat in our dedicated gluten-free dining room, and you'll get to experience the exact same food, have all of the amazing experience that he does, because you'll be eating in our dining room as well. The next question is, can non-celiac guests in our group eat anywhere on the ship? That answer is also yes. If they want to get gluten somewhere on the ship, they can go elsewhere and grab something either before or after, or skip a meal and go there instead. It's a vacation, right? You do what you want. But I think we've had a few people who went elsewhere and tried the food and then they came back, because ours is really, proud to say, it's really better.
So we
So
have a traveling chef that comes on board just for our cruises. So you have the onboard chef, and then, similar to our river cruises, we'll have a traveling chef that is dedicated just for us. So you think about the time, energy, this is different to them, and they love different. So it's a challenge. So we have had people who are like, oh, I'll go just check out what this tastes like for dinner, and then very quickly come back to our dining room. Just wanted to clarify, everyone does eat gluten-free in our dining room. So again, I think significant others, partners will be impressed with the quality of the gluten-free food, but everything in our dining room is 100% gluten-free. So we're not not bringing outside food in. We're not ordering gluten-containing food into our dedicated spaces. And the same thing goes for beer. We ask that people, if you're going to consume a non-gluten beer or a gluten beer, sorry, but I always talk about non-gluten, but if you want to consume a gluten beer, you do that before you come into our dedicated spaces. So to, again, just keep that a dedicated gluten-free environment.
Okay, I'll take the next one. Will there be high chairs in the main dining room or should we request? They do have high chairs, so you can just ask for one if they don't actually already have it. Additionally, if we booked our stateroom to include a pack and pay, do we need to reach out to anyone? I would suggest that you give us a quick email. Just info@celiaccruise.com is probably the quickest, and we can just double check that we put that in your reservation. If your child is under one, they typically put it in there anyway. What is the drinking age on board? It is 21 years old and up, and they are very strict, and people get invited to leave the ship if they get caught drinking underage. Here's one, Maureen. Are prepackaged chips and protein bars prohibited on the island?
I think that is definitely where you're completely in the safe area. So we all generally travel with bars in our bags and things like that. You will not have an issue traveling with that. So yes.
I have another great comment. I'm a public health inspector who has seen too many things happen in the kitchen for me to trust dining out with celiac disease at non-dedicated establishments. I'm beyond excited. This will be my first celiac cruise, and I'm sure not my last. Thank you for answering all my questions. What a sweet comment. That was great.
Well, I mean, I can imagine like when you work, your brain is all at work in that space. I'm sure it's really, really hard to, especially knowing that you probably have many, many stories for us. Let's jump to the one we are traveling with gluten-free travelers and have bought the gluten-free cruise, but can we go to other dining that are not gluten-free areas? So just, following up with kind of how we responded to that before, you are welcome to go to other places. I think the ship kind of counts on you for your main dining room assignment. So you may have a hard time if you were to go down to deck 3 or deck 4 for dinner, because they would assume that you're in the celiac areas. And just as a note, our food can only be ordered on deck 5. So, and deck 3, we all may look over the edge and say, oh, what are they eating? Generally speaking, they're eating the same menu we are, except it's gluten containing. We do try and make sure we have the same experience everyone else does on the ship. Whereas on a traditional cruise, you're usually given 1 or 2 options, whereas you'll walk into our dining room and you'll be handed the menu that looks just like any other menu. So that's just wanted to clarify so that was clear.
Got one for you. We have a family member who will be traveling who is not gluten sensitive. If he has the wristband on, will he still be able to go somewhere and get something on the ship?
So the answer is yes, but tell him to pack some patience. This is why we do love them, because they're going to ask. They're going to ask, even though we're going to do a training with them, and we're going to ask every single person that if it's an adult and they're wearing the Celiac Cruise bracelet or wristband, that they may be able to consume gluten outside of our areas, and they may want something. But we have had so many cases that they still get nervous and they're like, this contains gluten. Are you sure it's okay? And I'd rather it be that way, because I think it's, again, a testament to how much they care. We do ask them if they're children to, really, really confirm and prefer a parent is there. But as an adult, you are able to, you may just have to explain that, yes, I can eat gluten. This is why I'm asking, for a gluten containing beer, whatever item.
Yes, I have one. If we have a question like about an event happening on the cruise, how can we find you? Well, the great thing is we don't have hospitality desk with certain hours. We're at every single meal. So you'll see us a lot. You'll see us at the entrance to every single meal that you go to. You'll see us up in the Windjammer. You'll see us around. So just grab us. We wear, Celiac Cruise attire. We wear name tags. So you'll be able to find us for sure. Someone's asking what time the port opens on Thursday. So remember, the ship is pulling in that morning. And so all those people are going to be getting off. So the port's going to be open from like 6 a.m. And then once all the people get off, then they'll get all the way down to zero count. And then customs will clear the vessel. And then they'll start letting other people on. So there'll be people there from before 6 a.m., but you won't be able to get onto the ship until they clear the vessel. And usually that's around 11:30.
Yes.
Are you both personally going?
Yes, we
Yes.
are. And I'm very excited. My entire family is coming on this cruise too. So a lot of times, obviously, with as many cruises as we do through the years, sometimes it's just mom or mom plus one child. But my whole crew is coming, including Peter, who was kind of the mama bear situation that made this whole thing kind of come to be. So Peter was diagnosed when he was 4 years old. He also is celebrating his birthday on the cruise. So it'll be special for us to all be together and be able to meet you all. And I saw someone else asking about traveling with my 9-year-old daughter, just the two of us. She is wondering if there will be many kids. We have many kids traveling. We encourage her to come to our events. It's a perfect blend of our entire community, which when I look around that dining room at night and get a little bit choked up, it is, there's kids, there's adults traveling without children. It's a complete representation of our community, which is pretty special. So I think she'll have a great time. And have her come find my chatty 11-year-old too, my daughter. She'll take her all around because she knows the ship quite well by now.
We have, multi-generations coming, grandparents with parents and grandchildren, just to see that one grandchild enjoy this. It's just amazing. So yes.
Just like Bob.
Are the late night snacks themed?
Yes, and you will find out what those themes are prior to that will be in that final newsletter. We know them, we have a feeling, but I wanted to make sure the nights were accurate so we weren't just telling you, but the classics, not really the favorites will be there. Churros, etc., which as many of you are asking. So, but yes, we will have a variety of themes and you will know those prior to boarding the ship. So you can plan.
And the last comment, our entire family is coming on the cruise, including our father, our celiac granddaughter, 4 generations. Wow. Great, Bob. Thank
Unbelievable.
you.
Unbelievable. So if you all, I mean, again, questions will come to your mind. Feel free to, we put the info at celiaccruise.com there. Feel free to reach out. There's no question that we haven't heard probably before. No question. Don't be shy. I know many of you, this is your first cruise. So that creates some questions as well. So we're excited to meet you all in 28 days. And we'll post lots of pictures the week before when we're on board doing all of our work and getting things ready. But it's going to be an incredible, and we've never done Bermuda before as Celiac Cruise. So we're excited to do that and really, really look forward to getting a chance to meet you all and hearing your stories because everyone has a story. That's what connects us. It's either you, grandchild, parent, spouse, caregiver. So it's a really, really amazing part of this community to be able to come together, that there's one thing that connects us. So this is your chance to feel normal for the week. So we can't wait for that chance for you.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. If you have any questions, info@celiaccruise.com, and we will see you in a very few days. Thanks again.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.